Hello and welcome to this week's Generation 9 podcast. Your host, me, Victor Martinez, along with Ehsan Farahi, Vlad Yudin, and Edwin Mejia. Welcome. And we're going to start off with, obviously, giving a shout out to our sponsor, Transparent Labs. Thank you again for another episode, and we're going to keep them going. We're going to start off with question of the week.
We got two today, actually.
Yeah, we have two questions
today,
and that they are brought to you again by Transparent Labs. You guys check them out. They have the cleanest nutrients and sources of protein for their 100% grass-fed protein. No funny stuff, just transparent ingredients. Make sure you guys check them out. They're also doing a giveaway with the purchase of their kits. And Vic is a big advocate. So shout out, check them out.
I love it. It's only 6 ingredients in the whole thing. It's amazing.
It's very clean protein, very clean. Yeah.
So no binders.
Yes, the questions come to us from, I'll start with the first question, from Joe Bananas 1088.
Joe Bananas. What is it, a Goomba?
Yeah.
Joe Bananas,
Joe
man.
Bananas.
He eats a lot of bananas.
He goes, hey, Victor, do you think your 2007 Olympia version could beat the 1995 Olympia version of Kevin?
Kevin Levrone, I think, right?
1995?
Yes.
Oh, you cannot compare, man.
Damn, yeah, that guy was on a different level, Kevin Levrone. But I got to say, if I have to put him up with me, that's the best version of me to go up against him. But
You cannot compare. I love Kevin Levrone. At the 90s, Kevin was my favorite. But at the 2000, especially 2007, Victor, the size, bro, the size goes different.
So he would destroy Kevin.
Different level.
Kevin has them
Ronnie
shoulders,
Coleman
though.
started, and those guys keep going for after Ronnie Coleman. So the monster of the bodybuilding started basically after Ronnie Coleman area, and he was finished.
I was finishing up, but Kevin, again, he has one of the best shoulders in history, I have to say.
Yeah, his hands, his hands.
It's crazy.
So Joe Bananas, so to answer Joe Bananas' question, Victor Martinez 2007 would destroy Kevin Levrone in 1995, right?
I say yes.
All right.
I say
No, that's nice, Ehsan. I don't know, man, because Kevin was just some
Kevin was nice too.
I'm joking. Kevin is amazing.
alien muscle bellies, man.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stay humble and say, man, I'll bow out from this one.
I have to say something from 1995, Kevin. That was the best year of the Kevin. He was
That's
like
why
a rock.
He picked the best.
He
Kevin.
was like a rock, hard, but still
He's comparing best versus the best.
he couldn't beat Dorian.
I mean, you say you couldn't, or they didn't let him.
Oh, he didn't give him. That's true.
Conspiracy
You feel
theory.
He couldn't.
You feel him?
Like, couldn't, or they wasn't allowed to. It's
Did you ever
like,
compete against Kevin, Vic, indirectly or somewhere in any show?
man, when he came back, was I there when he made his comeback?
I think you were there.
In 20...
You didn't come 2001, 2002,
No, he
Mr.
came back
Olympia.
again. The latest comeback was...
No, he came
No,
back
the
back in
latest when he competed at
17,
50.
I think.
No, I know, but 2002 in Mr. Olympia, I think.
No, 2002, I didn't compete that year.
No?
No,
3?
no, I didn't compete. I didn't qualify 2002. I was just started, so I was still kind of getting used to the ropes.
I think there were gaps that where you guys missed each other because he came back and I think you kind of came off and you
When
came
he
back
came
on.
back, I'm not even
2017, I think it was, right?
2017.
Yeah.
Big comeback,
Yes, I competed. It was the worst Olympia I ever did. I mean,
But you still beat him, I think. You beat Kevin Levrone that year.
No, I don't think I even got a placing because the expediter told me, "Oh, you guys are not coming back out."
Oh, yeah, it's when they cut the routines only 10.
No, I know they always the routines they cut
It's
it, but I
10.
knew we always come out to kind of at least give away. But the expediter told me, "You're not coming back out." But they always do this. He goes, "No, you guys are not coming back out."
Damn. So you
Wow.
didn't place ahead of him that year.
No, I got no placement because it looked like I just kind of abandoned it. So I left. I changed to go watch the show, and then I'm like, wait a minute. And then they I'm like, well, no.
I should be up there.
MF, yeah. So no, it looked like almost like I was bitter because I didn't place top 10. It looked like almost you know, you could start assuming why I wasn't there, but in reality, it was the expediter.
Right.
All right.
You know,
Let's go to the second question.
Yeah, so the second question comes to us from Megan Davenport, 1047. So the question is, hello guys, what is your opinion on fat loss injections, cool sculpting, and EM sculpting? Do you think the benefits outweigh the cons? For example, it may cause body symmetry.
M sculpting, again, if you have a freaking, I'm not even gonna say fat. If you have lar on you.
That was good.
If you have that big giant that you could just kind of make a freaking, I don't know, a meatloaf out of it, no, it's not gonna help you. I think cool sculpting breaks up some of the fat. I would have to say if you're in somewhat in good shape or very little fat, it could have some benefits, and it does. I tried it. But if you're super fat, no, just diet and cardio, because it's gonna cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to actually trim off any fat or whatever fat you might think might get you somewhat looking decent. It's just not gonna be enough. Those things are expensive. You know, we're talking about, you're doing like 8-10 sessions, $2,000 to $4,000.
It's a lot of money.
You know, it does feel good again, but if you're in shape or not too much fat, you can get some details. It does help, but it's not going to supersede diet and actual training.
What about the injections, fat loss injections?
Fat loss injection, like what? Like
I think she means probably Ozempic.
Ozempic?
Ozempic is not fat loss injection.
No?
No.
Ozempic is a loss weight injection.
Yeah. You lose weight.
It's a lose
you
weight
restrict
injection. It's not
you
fast.
Restrict yourself.
It's
from
two
eating.
different things.
Right.
Yeah,
But I think that's what you mean.
They work. They're effective. Those peptides do work, again, but you still have to work out, because now you're restricting your eating, and then once you stop eating,
If you don't have a diet, if you put any,
you still gotta eat good.
yeah.
Still gotta eat good and train, because once that fat is gone, you're gonna start looking Ozempic, weird looking.
But what about the cons? She asking if there's going to be a body asymmetry if you do those cool sculpting. Are you going to start looking weird?
No, because they focus on certain areas. You know, most of it being the abs,
Right.
for example.
So not the whole body, just
Yeah, it's not the whole body. If you're gonna start doing the whole body, it's costly. It's a session.
Very
It's really-
expensive, yeah.
It's gonna be super expensive, you know. So, like I said, if you're already in shape and you wanna get detail, it does work, because it focuses on those areas, you know, where they actually, you know, they think M-Sculpt is designed electromagnetic, whatever, you know, it's just, that's what it does. So it does give you a good pump. The only thing, I think if they zap you for too long, you do get nauseous.
Oh, wow.
I've experienced it before. And again, I tried it because my friend sells the machine.
Really?
Yeah, and I tried
How much is the
it.
machine?
Heard it's like over $200,000.
Oh, wow.
You know, the machines. And cool sculpting, again, it's very pricey. And is it a treatment? Can you do it? Does it work? Yes. To be, you know, having a beach body between now and the summer, not at all. You still gotta push hard. You gotta do the cardio.
Diet, and you have to work
Still have to
out,
diet,
yeah.
you know.
What about it's like a machine, right? You attach it to your muscle and it contracts it for you. So you can just be sitting on a couch and does that ever work? You know what I'm talking about? It's like what do you call it? It's like a pulsating. You know
Yeah, it's pausing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, you know, penis pumps. Do they work? You know?
You compare it to that.
I heard those work, actually. I heard those work.
I know, but
the
it's-
shocking
it's-
one?
It's all gonna be temporarily. You
Yeah, there's
know?
some guys that come off of prostate, you know,
It's gonna
which
be
is
temporary.
No,
prostate
how's the work? The person eating pizza and cheeseburger and then put it in and then watching the Netflix with the ice cream.
Ice cream, watching it.
It doesn't matter how much they're shocking the muscle.
You're gonna feel the pump.
End
You're
of
like,
the day,
man.
calorie.
Yeah, you're gonna
yes.
feel the pump, but you're not gonna walk out and somebody's gonna say, "Wow, you look great." It's one of those self-improvement pumps. You feel the pump.
Again, I think it's work for same thing that before you say it. It's for like a 2%, 3%.
Just that extra push.
Yeah.
All right.
You know?
Well, anyway, guys, submit your questions in the comments below. Shout out to Joe Bananas and Megan Davenport.
Joe Bananas, man. Let's do that thing, okay?
Joe Bananas. So
All right.
You need to take your muscles To the max! Whoa there, Turbo. Do you even know what's in that stuff? Oh, yeah. See, most protein powders are filled with artificial sweeteners, food dyes, and filler.
Really? I wouldn't put that stuff in my body.
Neither would I. Transparent Labs is made with just a handful of all-natural ingredients without any of the weird stuff. Transparent Labs. Protein without the weird stuff.
So Ronnie Coleman made the news a couple of weeks ago. Ronnie is always saying something that always people take and make it in the headlines.
King Ronnie.
He said something like, basically in reference to Derek Lunsford winning the Arnold Classic this year. He's basically saying that you can win one. You're not going to win both. So he's kind of indirectly implying that Derek is not going to win the Olympia this year, basically.
Because he just win the Arnold and Mr.
Which is pretty
at the same
interesting
year.
because that's a question that goes both ways, right? Like, in other words, Samson won the Olympia and he didn't win the Arnold.
That's up no, right? That's a different.
It's like, no,
That's a different.
Well, I mean, he's
First
indicating-
Arnold and then Mr. Olympia.
No, but he's saying you can't win both.
He's saying he's not going to win the Olympia this year.
No, it's the same year. It's the same year. That's what that's
Same
what,
year. Yeah.
So that means the first is Arnold
Yeah,
and then
which he won.
second is Mr. Olympia.
Which he's not going to win, he's saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. The last person does that was Ronnie Coleman.
Ronnie did it.
Ronnie
That's
Coleman.
why he
did.
doesn't want anybody to
That's why he mentioned that.
I mean, can he? Will he peak twice or three times?
He's doing
he
his work,
could.
too.
He could, but again, it's going to require definitely, his coach, Chris Aceto, and Derek to really have that head right. I heard he was at Feeble. He was raving about, he's going to destroy everybody. Chris Aceto was like,
everyone
raving
talk about him.
At the Pittsburgh?
At the FIBO.
Yeah, Feeble.
But what is he going to destroy everybody?
Yeah, he was talking about
Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah, he was talking about Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yes, at Feeble. And
So Derek's competing at Pittsburgh as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a
Yes.
couple of weeks.
Wow, that's a lot of shows for
It's a lot, man. But you
for
know
someone.
what?
I haven't seen a former Olympia do so many shows before an Olympia
No,
show.
but when you have this kind of money,
Right,
and you have
right.
Young on your side,
Not
why
just
not?
that. Pittsburgh is a Jim Mania show.
It's a Jim Mannion show.
And
It's
this is
gonna
the
be
first year to
huge.
put the prize money, yeah.
It's the highest prize
$100,000.
money, and it's gonna be an entire expo.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah,
They
they're
put
gonna
an
make it
expo.
First
yeah,
time ever.
yeah,
Nice.
it's gonna be huge, man.
Nice.
And the boss is putting it together. It's gonna be spectacular. I'm trying to see who I can drive down with. And check it out.
But what do you
man.
think about what
There
Ronnie
we go.
Coleman said? Do you think Ronnie Coleman, like, why do you think he's saying it? Like,
If you remember that movie that you guys making it, the King Ronnie Coleman,
Yeah.
that movie, he said I was almost dying in
Yeah.
backstage.
Yeah.
Because it's too, I mean, right now and back then, method to be cut and ready for show, it was completely different.
It's extreme.
That was extreme. Right now,
Yeah.
it's not that extreme.
They push, but they don't really get the condition where you're almost
Yes.
like that feeling where you almost die.
I think we have just one or two bodybuilders that bring that condition
Yeah.
on stage.
Very
But
few.
if you bring that condition, it's really hard. It's really, really hard.
But not who you have. You have Derek coming in. You have Chris Cole. I heard he's coming in, right?
Yeah.
Is he coming for New York too? No, he's definitely doing Pittsburgh, right?
Pittsburgh.
And then who else you
Hardy.
have? Hardy's doing it?
In Pittsburgh, no.
No.
You're
You're
talking about
talking
Pittsburgh?
about Olympia right now. Pittsburgh or Olympia? Which one are you talking about?
Well, Ronnie's saying to win both.
Yeah.
Right now you have the Pittsburgh that he has to do,
Correct.
and that's before the Olympia. So
Yeah.
now
So now you're doing 3 shows a
he's
year.
cutting. Yeah, his
That's
chances.
really- It's very hard.
Yeah, his chances are gonna be.
If he's doing Pittsburgh, it's impossible to win in Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. The challenge is up to par. Can he do it? Will he recover enough time? If he puts the formula together, he could. You can't
But
say
do you
no.
remember Samson Dauda? He did 1 week for Mr. Olympia in French.
Yes.
Yes, but
And
that's
everyone
close.
saying he was wrong, that was wrong. And he come and win
Yeah,
Mr.
but that was
Olympia.
close though. That was close, and it's only a week or two. I think you have a better chance when it's close,
Too close,
as opposed
yeah.
to
Yeah,
the
you're right.
spread.
To rebounding. you know?
Yeah, the rebound and then getting jump starting your system
Yes.
again because
Speaking of jumpstarting a system, you guys seen this Chris random? Chris Maloney posted his leg workout.
Uh-huh.
guys,
For those of you that don't know Chris has been one of the, very, very well-known TV actors for
Great
many years. I think he was SVU, right? And a few other
and
shows.
Order, yeah.
Law and Order. incredible physique. I wonder what TRT he's on.
64 years old.
64.
You know?
64, man.
Were you impressed with his lifts? Unlike
I'm impressed only because, not just his age, but also, what he does for work, and he's been entertaining us for many years. That's impressive, But now it goes to show that when you are successful in one field, there's no reason why you shouldn't take care of your physique and train like him,
You think he's on TRT?
Oh, I think so.
I mean,
Definitely.
He should be. It'd be crazy if he's not. If he's not and he's doing that, I'll be impressed.
Yeah.
I'll be impressed. But you got to have a little fuel in your system to do all that, man.
No, TRT for 60 years old guy, it's
a
not
must.
bad. It's necessary. I think it's necessary.
It's not
I
bad.
mean,
it's
it's a one hormone you're missing it.
Right.
Why not?
Why not? So
Well, it's pretty impressive. His squat routine is pretty cool, and I think he's been in the news lately, and he's been on a few morning shows, and I think we'll probably end up having him here come to.
And he's
GI.
always active. He's not such a
It's cool that Victor's
actor.
actually impressed by
It's the
somebody.
main thing.
Not very-
Man, but squatting like that, man, I'm just more impressed by his knees.
And he's doing very nice form actually.
Yeah, good form and everything, man. So that alone is impressive.
Charles
TRT
Glass.
or not.
I want to get your opinion on training abs, because Charles Glass revealed his favorite workouts for abs, right? So he said seated crunches, standing rope crunches, leg raises, and seated oblique twists. The bodybuilders, have you trained a lot of abs when you were competing?
Yeah, but I only did them probably once or twice a week. And usually in the beginning of the workout, so I could train my abs indirectly throughout the workout.
Yeah.
The worst thing you can do as a bodybuilder is leave abs for last, because there's a 90% chance you won't do them at the end.
Because you're tired.
Well, it's such a drag, but most of my ab work was done at home. I barely did abs in the gym.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, you can just do them at home. It's not like
Do you still do abs now, Vic?
I mean,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
no, I don't. I try to do them once a week. Sometimes I have a bye week, but abs are essential because it actually helps with a lot of back issues.
Yeah.
Yes, if you do abs and
Yeah.
you suffer from low back pain or whatever, even sciatica, if you have a lot of it will be abs and train your glutes, and you'll avoid a lot of these issues.
Can you explain to me? I know we're on the topic of Charles Glass, but can you explain to me why someone? I mean, obviously, we all know the bubble guts, the bodybuilding bubble guts, but that is not only exclusive to bodybuilders, because there's other guys out there that are not professional bodybuilders that do have bubble guts.
I mean, the bubble guts is a big thing. I mean,
How do you
unless you're a powerlifter, strongman, it doesn't suit you.
Right. So how do you avoid the bubble gut, and what are your best way as you age? Right. We all want to know what we can do to reduce bubble guts. And can you explain that a little bit?
As you age, I believe intermittent fasting.
Yeah, eat less.
Eat less, become fuel efficient, not fuel dependent. Don't load. Obviously, if you're not training as much as you did as a professional or just as a bodybuilder,
right?
Don't eat that much. Don't eat that much is actually kind of nasty, you eat that much. When I see a girl that eats more than me, I only think of how big her dumps are gonna be.
Oh,
because I lived on the toilet when I was eating those 8,000 calories, man. I was like, needed a toilet strap on, man.
Oh my God.
But it's not fun, but you have to kind of think about it. You're having all that food, man.
He's thinking about hole. He's thinking about hole.
Well, I'm saying that when you see a big plate of food and you're at a restaurant, I'm like looking like, damn, look what she's eating, man. She's gonna blow that house down, boy.
Wow.
Nobody sits on the throne more than me at home, all right? That's all I'm saying, Your woman eating more than you, like, dude, man, what's up with that?
So,
But those people has to start to eating a small portion.
got it.
Small portion.
So, in other words, intermittent fasting is a solution, and obviously, intermittent fasting could be 16 hours, could be 24 hours. We've seen people do both. We've seen people do 3 days. Water fast. So, in other words, integrate intermittent fasting.
Yeah, do that.
And for those that have a gut, what would you recommend? Obviously, eating less, but is there anything else?
Eating less. You have to eat some food enzymes. Gut health is everything. Are you going to the bathroom often enough? Are you if you eat that much and you're not going to the bathroom, constipation is going to be your freaking killer there.
Yeah, digestive enzyme.
Yeah, you have to
probiotic.
eat,
These
man.
those pills has to be taken to bring it down.
Yeah, and we always talk about probiotics and prebiotics here at Generation I, and obviously we have a whole list of prebiotics and probiotics on Generation I people can tune into. But yeah, those are very important for gut health.
Very
You
important.
have to. And again,
I give it to all my clients actually.
Yeah.
All of them. Probiotic and digestive enzyme.
you could have some sea moss.
Sea
That
moss,
stuff
yeah.
helps your gut. But man, you can actually avoid all that gut. Before I remember it used to be called beer bellies, but it's more
Beer
than beer.
belly, yeah.
That's more than beer, man.
Yeah, that's more than
I drink beer. I don't have that belly, right? It's more than beer, right? Don't let that be a beer belly.
Right.
Freaking.
I mean, obviously beer is not a good combination.
I mean, yeah, but don't
beer
blame it on
and,
the beer, man. Giving beer a bad name.
Right.
Eat too much belly.
So yeah, I mean, and I guess the other topic we want to discuss today is making the rounds is that Big Ramy, former Mr. Olympia, is coming back
Big
or
Ramy,
trying
shout
to
out
come
to
back,
Ramy,
or
what's up?
there's rumors that he may come back, and people are estimating that what is it, an 80% chance now that he might
said
come
it
back?
that he's 80% sure
Right.
that he wants to make Olympia comeback this year, which is strange. I thought he was done.
Speaking of comebacks, I mean, we've talked about this before. There's always a comeback.
Well, he's got a strong fan base, huge fan base, and he's Big Ramy. I don't think you could count him out. He's won already 2 Olympias, or he's got 1 Arnold, 2 Arnold?
2.
2 Arnolds. Come on, he's decorated pretty well with the awards. And again, this is not even doing the smaller shows, did the New York Pro, but he should. Why not? If he feels the hunger to still compete, he loves to compete, he's still, with the process, why not? I think he should. Again, grace the stage and, come back with a different game plan.
You wanted him to retire. You said it on many episodes.
I think he should be retired, but if he wants to come back, he has to be doing this small show like a Pittsburgh Pro. I mean, Pittsburgh right now is the best stage for a person like a Big Ramy. First of all, go over there. They look at himself around the Drake Lunsford, Arnold Classic, and Mr. Olympia champion.
Speaking of comebacks, I've spoke to Kai Greene recently on a record on this podcast, and I asked him very directly, Kai, what would it take? Just answer to the people, because he's been teasing a comeback for years now, right?
Nope.
So I asked him very specifically, what do you want to come back? Like, what people need to do? He basically said money.
Yeah.
Like, UFC fighters, when they go fight, it's a guaranteed purse, a contract. So that's what he's basically requiring.
So he's saying, pay me.
Yeah,
I
so-
know, pay him. But Kai's making good money, man. Kai, you got no child support. It's like that's all I'm saying.
But Vic, he doesn't have too much expense, huh?
No, I'm saying expenses. I don't know if they are expenses. Probably for the costumes and the wigs and everything else you wear.
Come on, bro.
So Vic,
No,
what are you saying?
I'm just trying to put it in perspective here. But Kai,
Do you think promoters, there's wealthy people out there, right? They love bodybuilding. Do you think they should put the money for him to compete?
No.
think,
No?
I
You don't think so?
No, but that's
Why not?
wrong, though. That's wrong because if you really want him to compete, I think there's a company out there that has enough money that can say,
course.
Kai, I want you to compete. Here's some money. And I think Kai will do it. He's good for it.
Why you say no? Well,
Because
Why
if
not?
that person wants to spend money for Kai Greene, why not give him that money to Samson Doda?
Well, Samson's already
To
competing.
compete.
He's doing it for the
I
hell of
know.
it right now.
And we don't want to beg
But
him.
I'm saying, he's saying if, you want to see Kai compete, if somebody has enough money, they have a company.
Be honest to you, I don't want to see Kai compete.
That's a personal preference. Then.
Come on, you don't want to see a handstand, bro? Come on, man.
I don't want to ruin that vision I have from the Kai Greene in my
Yeah.
mind.
Although if he does come back and he ends up winning, that would be a big look.
How about
Winning
this?
for who? To who?
How about this?
I love to see Kai Greene and Phil Heath
Okay, I was gonna say that next. What if?
and Victor. I mean, those group.
What if there's a pay-per-view event, unsanctioned, let's say, just pay-per-view event like a novelty act. Kai Greene and Phil Heath, they pay them both whatever they require. Would you watch it on pay-per-view?
Yes.
I'll watch it if it will
Kai
be.
versus
Yes, I'll watch
if
it.
it's put
you
together like one of
Yes.
those, Logan Paul fights.
Yes, I'll watch
where
it.
people actually do the pay per view.
Yes.
But that was my idea. I said that before, and You know?
But the question is, you
Right,
said,
somebody
you,
said
said
that.
you would watch it. You said you just
Well,
said
Yeah, I watch that.
That's
I think it
one
would be
way.
great if you had like, Kai Greene just like talking Phil and Phil talking
Yeah.
Kai. It would be really entertaining. In fact, if they
course.
played those roles, even if it were semi-fake.
But
it would
if
actually be
just
interesting to
if
watch.
just Kai Greene compete against other bodybuilder, it's not.
You wanna see
it's-
against Phil.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah,
It would have to be against Phil.
Against
So
Phil,
why no-
that would
why-
be epic.
Why
And I
no?
would pay
Why
for it.
nobody's doing it? Why nobody?
Well, somebody's got to put it together, you know. Maybe Logan Paul can see this and say, man, let me tap into the bodybuilding scene.
Maybe
what are
Generation
the,
Nine
let me
should
ask
do
you, Vic, a question. What are the probabilities, in your opinion, that Kai comes back and does compete? What are
On
what
his
do you call
own
it?
without getting offered a check?
Yeah, like what are the percentage
Very
probabilities?
low.
I think very low too.
Very low, yeah.
Very
yeah,
low.
Without very low.
All right.
Money,
Now
yeah.
here's another
Yes,
question.
but I think somebody is good and will be good to pay him to see him on that stage. And I think he's right. They should pay him. But just to compete, to have a toss-up and be judged by the judges to maybe do great, maybe not. And who knows? Is there bad blood because of what he's done along the way that they're not going to give him the placing? You know, it's like a lot of factors go into it. I don't know.
Do you think it was a mistake from the Olympia not to crown him Olympia at one point for the Olympia brand itself and for the
There's a lot of mistakes the Olympia has made over the years. You know, I mean, that's just a given. It's part of the whole Olympia, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, there haven't been perfect judging panels. It's just, there's been a lot of toss-up. And again, not just,
I mean, because not to take anything away from like guys like Sean Roden, Big Ramy, others, but Kai Greene not winning an Olympia in many ways could, hypothetically, we could look at it in a way where it's like it was definitely a mistake.
yes, many mistakes. And if they do want to see him, you know, go through the process and put himself through the grueling preparation, I think he should get paid. He shouldn't
Do you
just
think it's a
it.
good business move? Let's say you want to get Phil and Kai to compete, right? You got to pay him at least probably 150 grand each, right?
Nah, more. Do the pay-per-view,
More?
man. Get the money split.
Do you think you'll make the money back on pay-per-view? Like, you think people
Of
are gonna
course.
because you need a lot of people.
Listen, I never pay for a Mayweather fight. I'll pay for this.
You know what? That's
And
a
I
good
still
point.
won't pay
Vic.
for a Mayweather fight.
I think that window's closing very rapidly.
It is.
so too.
It's
Very
closing.
So, there's a chance to do it,
Yeah.
but they have to do it, I would say, within the next 12 months to, 24
But come
months.
on, Kai and Phil right now, at their age, they can still do it, and they'll still be better than Logan and Mike Tyson fight.
Right.
Be way better.
So here's our
because-
last question of, what do you call the chances of, let's say, someone like Chris Bumstead coming back to compete? What are the probabilities of that, in your opinion?
I mean, coming back, he just barely left.
Well, I mean, it's almost going to be 12 months, actually, in October.
I mean, you can ask me that in a year from now if he comes back, but right now he could still be back.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't really left, though.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be
He's
exciting. It
young.
wouldn't even be exciting at that.
Yeah.
He's young. I mean, I'm not
He
surprised.
should
it's-
hold off
Yeah.
until making, if he wants to make it a comeback, make it a real comeback, it's holding off for at least a year or two.
I'm not surprised if he come back after 5-6 years at the open
Yeah.
bodybuilding.
But he
still
needs to
young,
come
man.
back.
Open category.
But hopefully it's gonna be another like dominant champion in that league, right? Against in that division, I mean. So make the comeback exciting, like.
No, he finished the classic. If he coming back, he has to go to open. But
pro body-
he
oh,
need
okay.
a size. I think he rests for 5-6 years. At that moment times, he's 39, 40s.
And
And,
then come
muscle maturity comes, the size comes. And if he wants to come back, he has to go to open category. Because he's king of the classic right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It would be exciting if he just comes back, compete against the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It'd be not interesting.
We have anyone
On
in
a bye
classic
year.
come back? At the classic? To
Well-
left hand come back? No.
No.
Left, I don't know. The only one that made a comeback was the original, classic Mr. Olympia, which was Danny Hester.
Oh, your friend.
Yeah.
Your buddy.
Yeah,
I forgot about Danny.
He left, and he left for a while.
Yeah,
he
left
came
for a
back
while.
just for this category, and
Where was he competing
that
before?
was a comeback.
What division was he? He was doing men's open body.
Yeah,
He was men's open, but
Really?
but not in the high rank of the
yeah.
bodybuilding.
He wasn't too active, and again, he was still kind of. So this category opened him up. It was kind of waiting for him. So he did great, man. And he is Mr. Olympia. So
Actually, they don't call it a Mr. Olympia. They call it Olympia champion.
Olympia.
Only one
champion.
Mr. Olympia in men's open.
Yeah, one Mr. Olympia. But you know, classic Olympia, whatever. I don't know.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Fines in 1973, 74, Chris Bumstead 2020, 2022. Who is winning?
I still think Chris.
You can't
Bumstead pulls
compare
it
the
off.
I think Chris
size-wise
Bum-
because
I
Chris
think Chris
Bumstead is
Bumstead's,
bigger than him.
Way bigger.
But as a nice physique-wise and definition, Francine, wow.
Yeah.
He was
True classic.
Wow. Yes.
Shout
true
out to Frank Zane. All right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching us in this week's podcast. Remember, follow us, like, comment. If you want to see a prior podcast, please tune in to iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or wherever the hell you stream your podcast, man. You know, check us out. Thank you for our loyal listeners. Till next time.
Peace.